Hi, Nigel. Well, this is exciting, isn't it? 6 months into your flagship council down in Kent, and Lyndon has stood up there as proud as anything to say that after 6 months they are battle fit. Battle fit, but maybe a bit leaner than they were when they started, having now lost 9 of the 57 councillors. And for those people struggling to laugh at the moment because of what's going on in the world, can I strongly suggest that they all watch some footage of a reform-led council meeting. Having watched quite a few of them online today, I think it's safe to say they are very, very special. And when I say special, I mean like with a raging incompetence that you won't believe. If any of you have been down to Kent recently, you would have seen all the flags on the lampposts and draped over bridges. Most upside down, but it's the thought that counts, isn't it? A Labour councillor here saying that it was money well spent, the £11,000 to take down the flags, which they considered to be divisive. Meanwhile, this little village has to decide, does it want flags or Christmas decorations? Or put it another way, really, do you want to bring the community together, or do you want to continue to stoke division? Fresh from that disastrous press conference that Lee Anderson had last week, he's popped his head over the parapet again today to write a little letter to Bridget Phillipson. And what a doozy it is. I would encourage everybody, Nigel, to read this letter as an example, really, of why we do need better politicians in the UK. Like, to sum up the letter, Lee seems to think that politics doesn't belong in schools, but his entire letter is political. He argues that teachers should be politically neutral, which of course they should be, but then sort of says, so don't let them slag off my party. He refers back to that PowerPoint that Deputy Dick had, you know, the one that literally put reform on the political line, and it was to the far right, which, whilst factually accurate, seemed to really offend Deputy Dick and seemingly Lee as well, which makes me think that they don't know very much about politics themselves, and if only they'd learnt a bit more about it at school, we wouldn't be in the mess that we are right now with your party. Lee takes offence at the concept of citizenship education. You know, the sort of education that involves teaching children about democracy, media literacy, how to identify lies online, that sort of thing. Or to put another way, teaching children critical thinking skills. However, Lee has a problem with that. Probably because, like you, Nigel, he has no critical thinking skills himself. Like you, education clearly scares Lee. I mean, I guess like you both left school quite early, didn't you? And I would hypothesise you both probably struggled at school a little bit, which could explain why Lee seems to think that teachers teaching critical thinking skills is basically activist teachers brainwashing children, indoctrinating them about extremist views. Like, it would have been easier if he just wrote, "Dear Bridget, please stop the teachers telling people how shit reform are. Yours sincerely, Reform." Now, speaking of shit, Nigel, I was fascinated by this article that you wrote in the Daily Express today. You said that thousands of women had been failed, ignored and slandered by every British institution. I mean, to be fair, you're not wrong, which makes it even more abhorrent that it's coming to the end of the 10th day since 5 grooming gang survivors demanded an apology from you. They demanded an apology because you misrepresented them in your press conference all about the grooming gang scandal. They said that your comments were degrading and humiliating. In that press conference, you decided to address the fact that 5 of the grooming gang survivors that were part of the National Inquiry Board, or whatever it is, had decided to stand up for Jess Phillips as she was coming in for some onslaught from people like you. And in that press conference, because you wanted to make out that Jess Phillips and the government were trying to widen the scope of the inquiry, you said that those 5 women were victims of another sort of abuse. And you framed it as the truth. The truth about those 5, and then you went on to lie. And I guess by lying about those women, you actually proved to everybody how little you understand the mindset of a survivor. Because you don't scare them. Your lies don't scare them because they've had worse done to them. So they issued a statement saying that what you had said about them was categorically untrue. They stated that they were survivors of grooming and of grooming gangs, and quite rightly pointed out that you having such little understanding of the issue should have meant that you shut up about it. In fact, what you did in front of the national press, and I should add, a national press that didn't hold you to account at the time, was you dismissed the lived experiences of survivors, and that is unforgivable. The fact that those 5 women had to issue a statement to defend themselves again from the lies of politicians, from people in authority, is abhorrent, Nigel. No survivor should have to prove that they were once a victim. Which reinforces what I said on the day about you. You have no idea about trauma-informed language. I mean, to my mind, the Daily Express should be apologising to those survivors as well now, because they've platformed you without even mentioning the fact that you had lied and demeaned other survivors. You and your party are nothing more than populists desperate for a photo op. That said, when I saw this very performed commemoration that you did, the fact that you're all holding the cross makes it look like you're warding off evil spirits. I mean, maybe you could see the reflection of yourselves in that camera lens. Anyway, good chat, as you were.